Okay, we should be live right now. Let me just post this on Twitter too. Okay. Hope everyone's having a great day. Post this on Twitter. Okay. Okay, here we go. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a great Happy New Year. Great weekend. Hey, Almighty. Hey, Bunny. Hey, Super Mario. Hey, guys. How are you guys? Cause the highest amount of damage. Actually, I think I can actually do this really quick. Let's see if I can win this. Yeah, sorry I started kind of late today, guys. I have a great GT Online video coming out tomorrow, by the way. Yeah, but I don't have a lot of time to complete the criminal damage, but I'm gonna try.
Hello,
Franklin, a sociopath?
How can I help you?
Not really, no.
Great. The aircraft is waiting
Thank
for
you
you
to
at our
Chief
nearest
Officer
airfield.
Henry.
We
Wow.
trust you'll be happy, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Chief Officer, for the super chat. Can you guys hear me fine? Brandon, don't do your sale yet. I'll help you out, but in just a little bit. Yeah, I know about that, Melon. Okay. Let's see if we can get first place in this. It's gonna be really close. Oh, come on, Jet, this... Oh, I can't believe it did that. Okay, oh well. I was trying to nosedive into the ground. Yeah, if you hit the ground with it, you get an extra 750k. Are you on Xbox? No, I'm on PS5. Thank you, Chief Officer Henry. Criminal damage is my favorite free mode event. It reminds me of Mayhem from Saints Row. Yeah, I wish that they would get rid of some of the stupid, like, free mode events. Like, there's one, like, get the most headshots on players. That one's just stupid. Like, I wish they would, like, keep some of the good ones. Like, the air checkpoints is good, criminal damage is good. Like, you know, keep some of the, you know, they should cut out some of the bad ones. Yeah, I could try to do that. Thank you, Ned. Thank you, Bunny. What's your opinion on mercenary groups? Well, mercenaries can fight for a just cause, but they're ultimately soldiers of fortune. They're soldiers that are in a conflict primarily for money. That's it. And so mercenaries oftentimes fight in a conflict that's not even their own. So it's you know, I wouldn't say that mercenaries are not good people. But you know, it depends on the situation. Like, there's evil mercenaries, definitely, that, like, you know, fight for, you know, disgusting regimes. Then there's mercenaries that, like, you know, they might fight for, like, a just cause, but ultimately they're fighting for money. So it's, you know, that's what a mercenary is. It's a soldier that fights for money. So I would say that, you know, mercenaries are, you know, either bad or evil most of the time. They're, you know, they're not necessarily good people. Thank you for this super chat, 3rd Street. Like, Merryweather are mercenaries, for example. Okay. I'm trying to hit 100% in San Andreas Definitive Edition, exactly at the final story mission. It will be satisfying when the credits roll and Tank Hydra spawn in front of me. Oh, okay, Patrick. Make sure that you have everything, though, because when I was doing my Vice City 100% stream, I missed, like, one thing in that, and when I thought I was gonna hit 100% on the stream, I missed one thing, and I missed, like, one side mission that I had to do, I think it was kind of embarrassing on the stream, but, I eventually figured out what I had to do, and we hit it. Found an arch nemesis of mine in God mode, worst of the worst. I was in passive for 2 hours with the horn blowing, followed him around until he quit. Oh, yeah. So it's, God mode. It's actually something that I wanted to talk about in a recent video, Keiju. I have a video talking about that. God mode is part of the video. Hey, Pro, if you're living in a GTA world, in what city would you want to live in? Thank you, Jonathan, for sponsoring my channel. Las Venturas. Las Venturas is where I would want to live. I heard they patched God mode players. No. I encountered a God mode griefer in, like, May. So it was May, and I encountered a God mode Speedo, like, 2 months ago. So it was, and I think, no, actually, I think I encountered, no, yeah, there was a God mode Speedo I encountered, like, 2 weeks ago, actually. So there was, so no, God mode is not patched by any means. Why did Michael kill Stretch, and why did Franklin kill the Changs, and both Michael and Franklin did not know those people? Because basically, Michael, Franklin, and Trevor are all associating with each other, and if they're all associating with each other, they're all going to be targets for those people. And the thing about that is that it actually made sense for Michael to go after Stretch, because Stretch wouldn't have seen Michael coming. He doesn't know who Michael is. And then, you know, Franklin went after, you know, the Triads, because the Triads didn't know who he was either. They knew who Michael and Trevor were. So, you know, Michael and Trevor couldn't get near them. So it made sense. So they kind of traded, really. You know, Michael did Franklin a favor by getting rid of Stretch, and Franklin did Michael and Trevor a favor by getting rid of the Triads. Could you play Red Dead Redemption 1 or Red Dead Redemption 2 playthrough only, this time like your GTA 4 series where you explain everything and talk about the game? Yeah, I could do that too, Levan18, I could do that. I want to replay Red Dead Redemption 1 this year, so I'm gonna get around to doing that. Thank you, Levan18. But the thing about this, Mario, is you shouldn't even have to counter God Mode Speedos. That shouldn't even be a thing in the game, personally. I get where you're coming from, but you shouldn't even really need to counter them, because God Mode Speedos shouldn't even be a thing. Zach Cox TV. I was just about to kill someone in a garbage truck right now online. My game crashed and I opened Twitter and came here. Oh, well, welcome back, Zach. How are you, man? I heard that you're coming back to YouTube, and I left a comment on your, I left a comment for you. I think you saw my comment. But I wish you well. Pro, can we speak in a party after the stream? I tried asking TJ, but he's busy at the moment. Let me know. I wanted to talk to you about a few things, Mark. Okay, Mark. We can talk a little bit later, but probably like an hour after the stream if you're still up. Because after the stream, I'm going to probably get some food because I'm hungry. That's probably going to be in like 3 hours from now if you're still there. You're still up. Can we get more videos on Claude? Yeah, I've got a Claude lore video coming up. That's gonna be, but that's probably gonna be coming up in next few weeks. I gotta finish the Michael, Trevor, and Brad lore video first. I want to see a Johnny Klebit's character ruined rant. Oh yeah, that'll come up too. Hangar business video, that's coming up too. There's just a lot of, a lot of projects that I'm working on, but that is coming up, yes. Any Chinatown Wars videos? That'll be later in this month. We're going to be doing Chinatown Wars as a playthrough. No, I never watched that, Spider. What do you hate from Watch Dogs, Lucky, or Damien? Who is more evil? Oh, Lucky's worse than Damien, yeah. Damien goes kind of crazy at the end of the game, but Lucky is the, the worst one. Because Lucky was, like, using the mayor as a puppet. Lucky was just a really cold-blooded guy. What's your opinion on the Mexican military? To be honest, I want to join to stop the cartels, but I don't know if I can join. I'm from New York. Well, if you're thank you, 3rd Street. Well, if you're from New York, if you're from the U.S., I don't know if you can join the Mexican military. Thank you for the super chat. I don't know much about the Mexican military, but I do know something, and I do know that there's a lot of law enforcement in Mexico, like Mexican military, Mexican police, that the cartel have like a lot of connections in Mexico to the police and to the military specifically. Like the way you saw it in like Call of Duty, like, Modern Warfare 2, where there's like, Mexican military officers that work with the cartel, stuff like that happens in real life. And, there's like, these squads and stuff like that that are notoriously corrupt. And so there's a massive corruption problem also in Mexico. So that's it. If anybody goes into, like, Mexican law enforcement, make sure you keep that in mind, that there's a massive corruption problem in Mexico. Chief Officer Henry, thank you for the super chat. Do you think Claude killed Marie at the end of GTA 3? I think it's definitely a possibility. Yeah. I think it's definitely possible. It's, Claude never went there to save Maria. He went there to kill Catalina. That was it, pretty much. Hi Pro, how is your day going? I'm going to be having my PS5 customized to run cooler and to be overall better than Sony could ever have done. Well, thank you, Eric. I hope everything goes well with your PlayStation. Thank you for the super chat. Have I ever played Splinter Cell Conviction and Blacklist, and do you think that Splinter Cell games deserve a... I played Conviction. I like Conviction a lot. I specifically like the co-op in Conviction. The co-op in Conviction I enjoyed a lot. Okay.
That was rude.
Do you think Jordy from Watch Dogs 1 is a good or a bad guy? He's overall a bad guy. He's a hitman, but he's not like, I wouldn't say he's evil. Don't worry about checklist, and now I have import-export to do left there. I'm pissed. I'm sure I did everything, but stuck at 98% in GTA 3 Definitive Edition. Oh, okay. Thank you, Patrick. Hey, Pro, I don't know if you like topics like this. Yeah, I mean, I don't really like to discuss topics like that. It's just tragic, and it's just, yeah, I try not to bring, like, you know, current events into, like, my live streams, but I appreciate the super chat, and, that was an easy 53 grand. Bro, you sure you don't want me to super chat you? That's up to you, Mo. It's I'm not I never ask people for super chats. Only give me a super chat if you feel like I deserve it. That's it. Like, I don't ask for them, but I always appreciate it whenever people send them to me. So, you know, only send me a super chat if you think that I truly deserve it. The actor for Jez Torrent in GTA Vice City is also the actor for Soap in Modern Warfare 2 and 3. Yeah, I know about that.
You doing that?
Oh, this is easy. Oh, thank you, Chief Officer Henry. $20 super chat. When Franklin and Michael blew up the FIB building, why wasn't there more heat on them? I mean, that was a terrorist thing they did, and at the end, they got off scot-free, and no way Dave could cover it up. Yeah, it is a bit ridiculous with, like, the story. But, like, you know, if somebody actually did something like that, like what Michael and Franklin did to, like, the FIB, you know, FBI headquarters, you know, they would never escape. You know, it doesn't really matter how good they are. You know, the government would use everything in their power to find those people. So... thank you, Chief Officer Henry. Yeah, they would never, they wouldn't have gotten away with that. Do you think Michael was technically in witness protection? No. But do you know who was in witness protection? Jerry Martinez in Vice City Stories. I just bought the game Ghost of Tsushima. It's fun. Oh yeah, that's one of the best games that I played. Have I seen some bad historical YouTube channels? I don't remember about a specific channel, but there are things that people, like, say, for example, online, like, there's popular, like, you know, there's popular theories that people believe that's oftentimes really stupid and not true on, like, historical events. Like, one thing that a lot of people seem to believe for some reason is, a lot of people think that the Civil War, for example, that wasn't, like, they think that was a battle about states' rights, and they don't think that it was about slavery, when the whole reason that the Confederacy seceded was about slavery. And if you actually read into the Confederacy's, like, founding documents, they mention slavery. So it's, there's a lot of people for some reason believe this, like, nonsense claim that it's this historically, like, you know, false claim that it was just, like, that's one thing I know a lot of people, like, you know, they somehow believe that it was over states' rights, when the reality of it was the Confederacy was controlled by a bunch of, like, rich elites. It was, like, controlled by, like, a bunch of rich elites, and they wanted to keep slaves. They wanted to keep running their plantations. That's ultimately what it was. But a lot of people, for some reason, believe that it was over states' rights. It's one thing, I don't know if I've seen any YouTube channels that talked about that specifically, but I know that that's a thing that a lot of people believe. Okay, let me see here, get the drop off. Was Abraham Lincoln racist? Oh, yes, he was. A lot of people don't know that. Lincoln was very much a racist. Like, he wasn't as bad as the Confederate leaders, but no, he was a racist. A lot of people don't know that. Okay. Saboteur has like 2 parts left. Let me see, I think I missed a few, comments here. Hey Pro, how do we join your game? What is the best GTA 5 online, money method at the moment? Probably the best way to make money in GTA Online is to buy supplies for the 5MC businesses, bunker, and have your nightclub producing, and in the meantime do Cayo Perico. That's like the most effective way to make money. Thank you for that super chat, Zach Gaming YT. Thank you, Villas. Thank you for sponsoring my channel. Thank you for the super chat also, Villas. Thanks, man. Oh, and to join me, Zach Gaming, you would have to be on my friends list, because only people that are on my friends list can join, but you don't have to super chat me for me to add you. I'll add anyone. The only thing that I ask is that, you know, you don't grief and be toxic. But right now, my friends list is full at the moment. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh King, for the super chat. I do make space on my friends list, but when I make space on my friends list, it usually is, when I delete somebody that's been offline for like a year. How did Lester not get caught? I mean, he planned the biggest heist in history, also one of the biggest casinos. A break into the government facility and owns a nuclear orbital cannon. Well, the government probably, you know, the Doomsday heist, the government probably helped him cover that up. That's probably what happened. Thank you, JD, thank you for the, sponsoring my channel. 6 months. The one thing that made me lose interest in GTA 5 and online was the lack of variety in the one-level system. Very repetitive and boring. The lack in the one-level system. Yeah, I mean, and I honestly, I think that the, I think that the cops in GTA 5 are more annoying than, like, I think the cops in GTA 4 were, like, better balanced. Where the cops in GTA 4 is still a challenge to escape from them, but it wasn't, like, annoying where these helicopters would spawn on you, like, every few seconds. That was getting really annoying. People think the French are cowards when it comes to fighting in wars, but I don't think so. So what makes me think that is the Battle of Verdun. Yeah, like, the thing is, the French are literally some of the, you know, some of the most elite fighters in, like, history. And the thing is, though, is that a lot of really, and this is what we were talking about earlier, like, when we were talking about people that, like, you know, say false things about history. You know, one of the stupidest things that I constantly hear is that the French are cowards. Like, a lot of people say that, and they reference World War II constantly because of France's fall during World War II. But the reality of that is that the average French soldier was brave, was ready to fight, but it was the leaders, the generals in the French army were just stupid and incompetent, and they were relying on World War I tactics. Also, it was the, there is actually a wall that France actually built on Germany's border, and the wall was actually meant to keep Germany from ever invading them, and, I'm trying to remember, it was called the M something line, I'm trying to remember the name of it exactly, but, basically, where the Germans tried to attack that wall, they actually got repelled for the most part, so the wall was actually effective. The problem is that they didn't fortify the Belgian border, and Germany invaded through Belgium, and then went into France, and also, in September of 1939, the French army actually pushed into Germany, so they actually invaded part of Germany in 1939, and, they actually got really far, and then the French generals actually decided to pull out. And the Germans weren't prepared for that at all. They faced little to no resistance, and a lot of the German generals actually said at the end of the war that if the French had kept pushing, they could have gotten to Berlin early in 1939. Yes, the Maginot Line, and that's what it was called. So it was, but if they kept pushing, they could have pushed very far to Germany, but they didn't. The generals decided to go back, which that was a mistake. and then Germany had regained, you know, they took over Poland, they regrouped, regained their strength, and then launched an attack on France. But what I'll say is that the French continued to fight even after their country had gotten conquered. They continued to fight. They were the French resistance. You had the Free French forces led by de Gaulle. So there was like, and the people, I'll tell you something else. The people that call the French cowards don't even have half the courage the French resistance had. They don't even have half that courage. Because, like, imagine, like, living in, like, Nazi-occupied France and, like, being, like, part of the French resistance. You know how dangerous that would be? The Gestapo could kick down your door at, like, 2 o'clock in the morning and take you away, and you'd never be heard from again. So that's how scary it was being in the French resistance at that time. But they were very brave. They were very brave for being able to do that. And so they would the Nazis, if they caught you in the resistance, they'd execute you on the spot. So there was, or, you know, they would torture you to death. They would torture you and force you to give everyone else up, and then they'd kill you. So it was, so the French resisted, they fought. And, you know, a lot of stupid people. And then you have, like, you know, you look at, like, you know, you reference the Battle of Verdun. Like, the Battle of Verdun is actually the longest battle in human history in World War I. It's not the largest battle in human history, but it's the longest battle in human history. It lasted for 9 months, the Battle of Verdun. And, the French ultimately won. They defeated the German forces. So they defeated the Germans in World War I in the Battle of Verdun. But what it was in Battlefield 1, there's the Fort de Vaux, which in the operations mode, and in real life the French surrendered the fortress, but they didn't surrender it for the reasons that people think they did. The reason that the French surrendered Fort de Vaux was because they ran out of ammo. Because they had killed so many Germans that were advancing towards the fort, and then they had no ammo left, and then they saw no reason to keep fighting. They thought they were all going to die. So that's why they surrendered, because they ran out of ammo. So that was, that's how much they held out at Fort de Vaux. But a lot of people will say, oh, they just surrendered Fort de Vaux, but they don't know, they ran out of ammo. So that's why it's important to, like, read, you know, the details about history before you make claims. But, like, a lot of people, they make nonsense claims a lot of times. Let me see here, I missed a lot of comments. Are you a history professor? No, but I read a lot of history. Have you tried out the new bikes, like the Power Surge? No, I haven't. Thank you, Bunny, for the super chat. I'm probably gonna get to them. Let me see here. Thank you, Josh King, for the super chat. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, George. Really hope you play Yakuza sometime this year. Also, can't wait to see your walkthrough of GTA Chinatown Wars. Yeah, I'll do a fine walkthrough of that. Thank you, Chief Officer Henry. Our GTA Online protagonist Lily owns a nuclear submarine, orbital cannon, flying bike, a jetpack, and anti-air middle thing, and more. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I'll say. Do you know what the weirdest part about the Drug Wars DLC is? You know what's so weird about it? The Drug Wars, like, don't you guys, like, tell me if you guys agree with me on this. Don't you, like, the Drug Wars isn't, like, a bad DLC, but don't you guys think the Drug Wars should have come out, like, earlier? Like, don't you think it should have come out, like, 6 years ago? Like, or 5 years ago, like, around there? Because what I find so weird about the Drug Wars DLC is, like, Dax just calls you fresh meat. He's like, fresh meat, and literally, if you've been playing GTA Online since day one, you're literally this giant, like, criminal mastermind. You've robbed Cayo Perico, like, you've robbed this crazy drug lord several times. You've, like, completed the Doomsday Heist, stopped, like, a nuclear crisis. You have literally fought a clone army. You had, like, what was it? You moved guns around. You became a massive arms dealer, like, a big biker gang leader. Like, it's like you've done every possible crime that you could possibly think of, and this guy doesn't even know who you are. He's just like, oh, you're fresh meat, you're new. Like, you know, it's, excuse me? Like, the operations that you're running are, like, 100 times bigger than the stupid operation that Dax is running. Like, your character is, like, 100 times more powerful with all the stuff that he's running than, like, these, you know, creepy people from, like, the, Drug Wars DLC. That's why I think the Drug Wars DLC would have made more sense, like, at least the lore way, if it came out, like, you know, 5 years ago instead of now. Because it's, like, so weird. It's like you have all this stuff, these crazy military vehicles, and then they're like, oh, fresh meat. Any update on the GTA 4 copyright claim? Yes. Almost all the Fuga claims are gone. They've all been removed. So, and the GTA 4 theme song is back, and it's monetized. Thank you, Agent 21, for the super chat. Thanks, man. I don't know what happened exactly, Carlos. I don't know whether it was like a Take-Two that did something, whether Fuga just released it on their own. I don't know. Do you know much about the Titanic? I actually don't know that much about the Titanic. I know it was a civilian, like, you know, massive civilian ship. It was like 10 years before World War I. It would, it sunk, like, in the upper Atlantic. It was closer to Europe than it was to America when it had sunk. Oh, 1912. Okay, so I was wrong then. It was like 2 years before World War I. Oh, you got The Godfather for Xbox 360. That's a good one. Do I know about the Three Kingdoms period in China? I actually don't know much about that. I know China's one of the oldest civilizations, and they have had so many wars of all these different warlords and kings throughout their history. Thoughts on the new YouTube policies? I think they're kind of stupid. You guys want to know something? You guys know that video that I made, right? The Karen video with the ambulance, where she was freaking out over the ambulance. Do you know that that got demonetized? Do you like it? They said it was non-advertiser friendly. Do you like the new Modern Warfare 2? Yeah, for the most part, I do. What I love about Modern Warfare 2 the most is I like third person though. It reminds me of SOCOM. I like how they call us rookie in missions, but I'm like, buddy, I just stopped the nuclear war back there. Yep, that's exactly what I mean. Oh, I'm an agnostic. Hey Pro, happy New Year. Take care, Afina. Thank you, Afina. And I'll look at that, I'm gonna look at that, what is it here? That video right now, like, just to see. But that video that I told you guys about, right? The Karen video. I wonder if YouTube gave me a reason why they demonetized it. Let me see. I'm gonna click on it and look at it right now. But anyone see my Karen ambulance video? Sure, somebody here has seen it. Okay, it was flagged for inappropriate language, profanity in title, thumbnail, or usage in the content. Yep. So they flagged it for profanity within the first 7 seconds. That's what it was flagged for. So it was the meme that got me. It was the meme at the beginning. That was it. Unfortunate. First part of Drug Wars not that interesting. Yeah, but I have at least some hope for the Drug Wars DLC, because Drug Wars DLC is still gonna have like taxi business. It's gonna have like street dealers, right? Street dealers. Like, has there been any confirmation on how the street dealers are gonna work exactly? Like how that works? Because I know that's supposed to be in drip feed. Does anybody know more about that? That's what I'm really curious about. Is the street dealers are supposed to be added in the drip feed? Let's see here. Take this
What
then.
in the world? Fucking fuck. You can suck me.
Hey, you're gonna spawn random, just like how the gun van works, but what's the point of them? Like, what do they do? They work the same way as they do in Red Dead Redemption 2? Huh? But there wasn't drug dealers in Red Dead Redemption 2. Go. If you stock in your MC businesses, you can sell it to them. That seems interesting. Small amounts of product. That seems actually interesting. I like that. Yeah, I responded to your comment. I saw it earlier, Mr. Waifu. I'm gonna probably play the PSP version of Chinatown Wars. Do I smoke? No. Do you think that the jet and oppressor griefers will disappear with the railgun being added? Honestly, I'm concerned with other things with the, I am concerned with other things with the railgun. The reason that I'm concerned is because it's like, sure, it could stop like Oppressor Mark II griefers, sure, but the thing about this is, think about it this way: I play in free aim, so like the railgun is not really going to help me much in free aim against Oppressor Mark II griefers. And the other thing is that, imagine how annoying the railgun would be. Like, imagine if I'm doing a mission like this mission right now. Imagine I'm doing this mission, I'm trying to sell in a public lobby, get a little bonus, and then some idiot pulls out the railgun and just shoots this plane down. I can imagine that would be annoying. So that would just, Do you think Dimitri is the most evil GTA character? Yeah, I would say so. Dimitri is probably the most evil GTA character, yeah. But you want to know something? I'll tell you guys something about the railgun. Oh, great, we got fog. Okay. Here's what I'll tell you about the railgun. Railgun will be disastrous as Oppressor Mark II. Thank you, Patrick. Bro, you seem to always complain, no? I point things out that I don't like. If I like something, I'll talk about it. Like, before, I talked about the drip-feed drug dealers. I said I thought that was cool. So it's like, if I see something in the game that I like, I'll compliment it. You're just looking at the negative things I say, never the positive things. But, oh, so, well, Dimitri pretended to be Nico's friend, manipulated him into killing his best friend, then he let his best friend's wife and daughter homeless, and he also tried to murder Nico at Roman's wedding, and possibly can kill Roman. So that's why, literally, Dimitri is the worst one. I was waiting for an upcoming Wanted level overhaul mod that is almost 1.5 gigabytes large, but ever since the DLC got released, it's messed everything up. I didn't know about that. This would mess up like single player stuff. Where's the evidence that shows that Shepard tips off Makarov? Well, Makarov knew about Shepard, like when at the boneyard, like the scrapyard. It was that Makarov knows where Shepard is, and that's how Makarov knew it was Shepard. There isn't like direct evidence of it, but Shepard tipped Makarov off. That's how Makarov knew about Alan in Modern Warfare 2. But here's what I'll tell you guys, and like, you know, feel free to disagree with me, but this is my opinion personally. I hate the railgun, even though it's not even out yet. I already hate it. And I hate the Oppressor Mark II. I hate the regular Oppressor. I hate the Orbital Cannon. I hate stuff like this personally. And do you know why I don't like stuff like this? It's not even the griefing. The griefing is annoying, sure, but it's like, that's the second reason I don't like it. The number one reason I don't like stuff like the Oppressor Mark II and the Railgun and the Orbital Cannon and stuff like that is because I don't feel like it has a place in GTA Online. That's ultimately why I don't like stuff like that. Is because, you know, I'm an old school GTA 4 player. Like, I played GTA 4 a lot back in the day. I have a platinum trophy in GTA 4. So it was like, I played GTA 4 so much back in the day. That was like, you know, that's what I did. Great, I'm trying to figure out now where to go here. This fog is so annoying right now. Okay. But the reason that I don't like all the futuristic stuff is because I don't think it has a place in GTA. I think it's off. I don't think it belongs in a GTA game. That's ultimately why I don't like it. It ruins the immersion. You are 100% right on that, Flaming Eel. 100% right. That's ultimately why. It pisses me off. I think it destroys the immersion in the game. Like, I'll give you guys a perfect example of how it ruins the immersion in GTA Online. Like, let's say that you're role-playing like a biker gang, right? They added MCs in the game. You know, you can form an MC. You know, all your friends and all of you are dressed up like, you know, bikers. You're driving your choppers, maybe like on the highway towards Sandy Shores, maybe complete a job. Out of nowhere, in the sky, like a Oppressor Mark II, this flying motorcycle just comes out of nowhere and just blows all of you up on your motorcycles. That ruins the immersion. Stuff like that. You're just trying to have fun. You're enjoying the game, and it's not even about the griefing. It's just about, like, you're trying, like, it's just one example. Like, you have people that are trying to roleplay as, like, bikers, and then, like, you know, somebody, like, comes out of nowhere with, like, a Mark II and just destroys them. That, I think, kills the immersion in GTA Online. It ruins it. And it's the same thing. It would be the exact same thing as somebody's doing a car meet. If somebody's doing, like, a car meet, and they're showing off all their cars, their lowriders, their sports cars, all of that, and then somebody just shows up in, like, a deluxe zone, and just starts hovering around. It ruins the immersion. It makes it look stupid. That's ultimately why I don't like stuff like that, because I feel like it has no place in GTA Online. I don't think it belongs. And, like, people like, you know, people, like, you know, say, like, you know, oh, you're against having fun and stuff like that. It's like, this is just my opinion. I don't like the futuristic stuff. I don't like it, and it doesn't matter to me whether the majority of people like it or not. Like, this is just my view on it. Like, I'm not going to... I don't know how most people feel about this, if most people agree with me or not, but this is just how I feel personally, and I'm not going to have my opinion swayed because, like, the majority of people think, like, a certain way. Like, a lot of YouTubers, even if they hate the Oppressor Mark II, they're scared to say it because they don't want to piss off viewers. And, like, they know that a lot of people, like, use it. But I despise the Mark II. I really say what's on my mind, what I think. I think it's stupid. I don't think it belongs in the game. If it was up to me, personally, I'd delete it from the game. I'd get rid of the Mark II, I'd get rid of the orbital cannon, I'd get rid of a lot of the stupid things that I personally don't like. It's not about complaining. It's about things that I just don't like personally. It's just what I just don't like it. I don't think it belongs in the game. It's not even about really. It's not even really about complaining. Like, it's like the thing is though is that, bro, you suck at PvP. Okay, I'm not that great at PvP. I'll admit it. I'm not, like, amazing at PvP. If you versed me in PvP, you'd probably beat me. You probably would beat me in a 1v1 deathmatch. I don't care. Like, I honestly don't. I don't claim to be a god at PvP or anything like that. I'm much better in vehicles than I am on ground. Like, in the helicopter, I'm pretty decent. Like, you know, Savage, if I'm fighting, like, other helicopters, I can kill other helicopters pretty well. But if I'm fighting on the ground, I'm not the best at it, I admit that. But it's like, you know, I don't know what the point of that is. Like, it's just like, it's like, you know, somebody will, like, tell me, oh, you suck at PvP, like, 1v1 me. It's like, okay, it's like, what is that going to accomplish, really? Like, I join your stupid 1v1 deathmatch and you beat me. Like, you know, okay, now what? Like, what is that going to accomplish? Like, what? He's like, I don't get that. It's like, you beat me at 1v1, okay, now what? I don't get it. Like, you know, it's just and the thing is, though, is like, the people that claim all the time that they're, like, gods at PvP, oftentimes they don't know how to make money in the game. So that's what I'm ultimately good at. I'm ultimately good at explaining businesses. I know how businesses work in this game, and, you know, just covering that. That's just my specialty.
Hello.
It's not like, you know... But that's it. That's just my view on it personally, and well, another thing that I'll say about this is that the people that, like, constantly accuse me of complaining, they don't even know they don't even know the difference between, like, they don't know the difference between complaining and criticism.
Okay.
They don't know what the difference is. Like, it's just they struggle with that. Let me get a bike here. I want to drive one. Take the acid to a drop off. Okay. I'm getting C. But, okay, now what I'm gonna say is, here's the thing that people don't understand. The difference between complaining and criticism. Complaining would be different. I'll give you a perfect example. Like, you know, somebody, like, let's just say that I'm, like, driving around for no reason, right? Like, I'm just driving around minding my own business, right? And then somebody out of nowhere just, like, takes, like, an Oppressor Mark II and blows me up and starts killing me, right? And it gets me annoyed. And I say, oh my god, this is so annoying and stuff like that. And I'll just be going, that's complaining. That is. But criticism is more about when you point out a specific issue. You point out an issue, and when you... And criticism is mostly pointed out at, like, to explain it to a group of people. Complaining is something that's individualistic. Criticism is something that you talk about a problem, and you explain to people why it's bad. Like, for example, take my same example. Getting killed by the Oppressor Mark II. And just, like, saying, oh, this is so annoying. That's complaining. It's just me getting killed in the game, me individually, and me getting pissed off and annoyed. Now, if I, instead, am not getting killed by an Oppressor Mark II, and I just say, like, you know, the Oppressor Mark II is broken. It has no place in GTA Online. Like, it's too futuristic, it's stupid, its missiles are too accurate. That's criticism. I'm pointing out, my complaining is just, before was based individually on something that I was experiencing, but in this case, I'm just explaining why something is bad and pointing it out to people. I'm saying this is bad, and I'm pointing it out to a group of people, and I'm explaining my points. Feel free to disagree with me, but that's the difference between, you know, complaining and criticism, and a lot of people don't seem to get that. And I'll tell you something else, is, if nobody, quote, complained, as these people said, every single game would be extremely broken. Like, imagine every single game would launch like Cyberpunk or Fallout 76, is like at that type of state, if nobody complained or nobody said anything. So, it's literally, it's important, if something pisses you off in a game, and it pisses you off for good reason, it's important to let your voice be heard, because the developer can hear you and can fix that in the game, and make the game more enjoyable for everyone. So it's just like, I don't see the problem in, like, pointing something out. And honestly, if these people are gonna accuse me of complaining, I'll say to them that they're living in, like, I don't know, they're living in some fairy tale land or something like that. They're living in complete denial if they think that the Oppressor Mark II is not a problem. If somebody can, like, I honestly don't know how somebody can tell me that the Oppressor Mark II is not a problem. Like, how somebody can tell me. Like, you can argue that the Oppressor Mark II helps with griefing, helps with fighting griefers, and you can argue that it helps with, it helps make grinding easier. Okay, you can make that argument. But I don't see how anybody can make the argument to me that it's not a problem also, that doesn't cause its own unique issues. And that's what, I don't know how somebody is. So, yeah. That's exactly it. If I'm the one complaining, the people that are accusing me of complaining are living in, like, some fairy tale world in denial. That's pretty much, that's pretty much what it is. It's like the same thing with, like, Red Dead Online. It's like, you know, I would have these people that would, like, come to my Red Dead Online videos, and they would just accuse me of complaining, and they would just say in the comments, like, you don't know what you're talking about. Rockstar hasn't abandoned Red Dead Online. Rockstar is still gonna do content for Red Dead Online. And I show them the quote of Rockstar saying in their newswire, they say, no more major updates on Red Dead Online, and they're like, oh, that's not proof that they're giving up on the game. Like, it's like, literally, it's directly from Rockstar, so it's like, you know, a lot of times these people are just in complete denial. And I don't understand this, why people have this loyalty to, like, a company. Like, why are you so loyal to, like, a company that doesn't even care about you? I don't get that personally. Like, I'm never gonna get a sponsorship or anything like that from Rockstar because of all the, you know, the criticism that I've given them, and I don't care, really. So it's just, you know, I'm just gonna speak my mind. I'm not gonna, like, you know, suck up to some company or something like that. Okay, let's see here. So, these locations, it depends on where you hide this thing. Sometimes there's undercover cops that actually hide in an area. And it depends actually where you hide it. I don't see any undercover cops here. Let's hide this in the open. Let's see if we get cops after us here. Nothing. Okay. Surprising. Nothing happened. Have you heard? I'm the vigilante. I clean up guys like you, Aiden. I just killed Lucky. I love that quote. Yeah. That vigilante thing was just something that everyone else called him, but Aiden embraced it in the end. Thank you, George. You have more GTA 4 lore videos coming up? Oh, yes, definitely. Which death from Sniper Lee said her Brower or Sophia? Oh, Sophia. I advertise for Rockstar for free? Well, what are you talking about? Like, I like, you know, I like Rockstar games. Like, I like GTA Online. I have fun with GTA Online. I enjoy GTA Online. There are some things that piss me off in the game, sure, like the Orbital Cannon and Oppressor Mark II, but, you know, I literally would not have, you know, 400 whatever days played on this game if I didn't enjoy it. So I enjoy it. There's things that annoy me, sure, but when I point those things out, I'm hoping that they get fixed. I hope the next Battlefield game will be good. I hope so too, Jimmy.
Okay, those guys.
Yeah, Battlefield 2042 was a disaster. Oh, I missed your super chat. I'm sorry, Antonio. Let's see here. What animal am I the most scared to encounter? And thank you, Little Chubby. Thank you for the super chat also. Thanks, man. Animal that I'm the most scared to encounter? Have to think about that. I would say probably possibly a mountain lion. Yeah. I'd like to see you play Yakuza or Judgment. I can play that one day. I'd love to play that one day. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Muada, Gamer. Thank you, if I'm reading your name correctly. If you easy way out in GTA, is to give your opponent a kill. Oh, I agree. Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, if you damage somebody, like if you shoot somebody a little bit, if you already put damage on them and then they easy way out, yeah, I'd agree with that. That should do damage. I mean, that should be a kill. That should count as one. Favorite way to say Capitale? Oh, when you actually go to see Joe and then Joe like says, "You got your stinking Capitale?" That's like the best one. Italian only understands one thing, Capitale, and you ain't got enough. Remember that Joe said that. Like I heard those quotes so many times in Blood Money that I remember most of them. Like it was just like, yeah, those were just yeah, that DLC was so bad. How you say Capitale in Polish? I don't know if there's really a word for that. Because Capitale is an Italian word. I think it means capital, like money. In Polish you would say pieniądze, which is money. Hey Pro, you mentioned to be playing Medal of Honor Rising Sun, which is in the Pacific Theater and featured, are featured in the game. Never played it before. You intrigued me when you described it. Well, thank you, Justin. You should be a voice actor. Well, thank you. A lot of people actually told me I sound like a South Park character. It's one of the reasons that I kind of made that avatar. Do you think GTA 6 will be on PS4 or on PS5? Probably PS5. I can't see Rockstar making this on PS4. Like, they've been working on GTA 5 for so long, for them to just release it on PS4, I think that, and PS4, I think that would be a mistake, personally. Because, when you really think about it, GTA 5 wasn't even a game that used the PS4 to its max power. It really wasn't, because GTA 5 is really a PS3 port to PS4, with updated graphics in a first-person mode. And then PS5 is just the updated PS4, PS3 port. So that's really what it is. It's really this is ultimately a PS3 game that I'm playing right now, technically. So that's like, I'm have 60 FPS now, but it's, yeah. Hey Pro, when I played GTA Online, I hated the griefers and toxic people back then. I wouldn't play it no matter what. Those Mark II oppressors are scary. Yeah, they get really stupid. What battles are featured in Medal of Honor Rising Sun? In Medal of Honor Rising Sun has, it has the Battle of Pearl Harbor, It has it has the evacuation of the Philippines. It has the Battle of Guadalcanal. It has the it has a Singapore mission. It has a mission in Burma, I believe. There is a mission in what is it, in Rising Sun? Another thing. The Pistol Pete Showdown, which I'm trying to remember what battle that was. Bro, why won't you want GTA 6 on PS4? Because if it's on PS5, it would be ultimately a better game if it wasn't on PS4, because it would be using the PS5 and next-gen consoles to their max power. If you release it on PS4, it's just going to be using the PS4 to its max power, and then you're gonna have a PS5 version ported probably later. So I think that would be a bad idea, personally.
We on?
Boat? Oh, okay.
Hit it, dick.
GTA 4, Red Dead Redemption 2, which had the better story? Probably Red Dead Redemption 2. Would I play a shooter game in this U.S. Civil War? Sure. There actually is, like, 2 Civil War games that I know is, like, the History Channel game, but that game kind of sucks. There is the, there's Darkest of Days, which is a not an amazing game, but a much better game than the History Channel one. I don't know. I think I'll play on my custom difficulty, Justin. Okay, Brandon. Okay, this shouldn't be that bad of a drive. We should get there in a moment now. Or we got a mile left about. Why isn't Rockstar fixed the God mode or the orbital cannon glitch? I don't know. Well, I think the orbital cannon glitch is fixed for the most part. Does anybody know, does the orbital cannon spam glitch still happen? That's what I've been curious about. Thank you, Uplands, for that super chat earlier. It still happens, huh? Has anyone had the orbital cannon spam glitch happen to them recently? I'm in a friends-only session. Yes, I saw it yesterday in my lobby, huh? It has been patched, okay. It still happens because there's new methods that come out every time. Because Rockstar doesn't know how to patch their game, huh? Hey, Anonymous, thank you, man. Yo, hey, how are you? No, you're not, Mr. Waifu. You have a Discord? No, I don't use one. I did in the past, but I don't really use one anymore. Oh no. Hang on, I got... Okay, yeah, that's why the up and atomizer is such a helpful weapon. If it wasn't for up and atomizer, that boat would be done. Because it shouldn't be in the game, King Viper. Why should somebody be able to do an orbital cannon spam glitch? So so according to what I'm reading, people are saying that there's people that are getting around the orbital cannon spam patch, and there's new ways for that people are abusing it and doing another orbital cannon spam glitch. Yeah, orbital cannon shouldn't have been in the game in the first place. I will agree with that. And this is something that people do on just PC, or does this happen on console as well? No, I didn't watch his video, Bambi. It's on consoles too, oh no. Why can't they play fair? Because they're losers. Thank you, Angelo Carifs. Thank you for the super chat. Well, they shouldn't be able to do that in the first place. If it's Rockstar's game, then Viper, you should support banning them since it's their game also. Nobody got the other boat? Oh. I thought that somebody got the other boat by now. Great, I can't. Wonderful, wait, I'm gonna spawn my bike then. Yes, I did some time ago.
Shit, man, shit.
Sometimes, Mole. Haven't talked to him in some time, though. This is the character I hit 1 billion on. Okay. 1 mile here, take the boat. Okay, I can help you after this. How can I add you, Pro? Your videos are awesome. Thank you, Angelo. My friend system right now at the moment is full. I could try to possibly add you in the future, though. Over here. Oh, there's only 2 people in the MC? Really? Oh, complete. Well, okay. I didn't know. I thought there was more. Get over here. Pro Zero. I have a pretty dead channel with 3,000 subs. What's the best way to start doing Let's Plays? And how do I decide what games to play? Well, I would choose, like, games that are pretty popular, games that people know, like maybe nostalgic games too, and it doesn't hurt to play new games also that start that out. Thank you, Pro Zero. If you do live streams, make sure that you always interact with your chat and you reply to your chat, because people do really like that. Like me, for instance, I'm not funny. I don't make jokes constantly, but what people do like about my channel is they like that I reply to comments and I read comments. You might also want to use a webcam, but if you don't want to show your face, that's fine. That does help also playthroughs. My next playthrough after Saboteur is Medal of Honor Rising Sun. And then after that, it'll be Chinatown Wars. There we go. I'm not really that much into sports.
That's
Complete, you have to invite somebody else to the MC because we need one other person in this. What do you think of Star Wars The Bad Batch? I haven't gotten a chance to watch it. It seems interesting. A series about the perspective of the clones, right when it becomes the Empire. The Mongolian Empire had managed to make a lot of money through trade. They were very effective at encouraging trade between the cities that they had conquered. Don't really use chat, but I enjoy watching your videos, Pro. Hopefully your 2023 is good so far. Thank you, Viper. I have played Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original and the new one. Did you invite somebody else to the MC? Okay, okay, we got some more people. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, I'm flying this? Okay, wait, I'm confused right now. I guess he got invited to the business then. Oh, in Watch Dogs? Yeah. Thank you, George. Okay, here we go. Well, there are some pretty crazy people involved in those, thank you, 3rd Street. But I don't really like talking about, like, you know, modern stuff. If the Saboteur got a sequel, it would be an ideal plot for you. I'd like to see a Saboteur game in the Pacific, personally, like maybe in the occupied Philippines or occupied China, maybe occupied Singapore, you know, something like that. Okay, let's get over there to the drop-off point then. Okay, Mark. I'll see you then. Did I play the Bad Blood DLC for Watch Dogs? I did. My favorite Medal of Honor game, I would say, is probably Frontline. What do you think will be the perfect final DLC for GTA Online? Like a house update, like a mansion update. A lot of the cars are pretty useless in the snow. Who of the three is the most corrupt businessman? Donald Love, Avery Carrington, or Devin Weston? Well, Donald Love had killed the most people. But I would say that Donald Love at least didn't betray the people that worked for him. He didn't betray Tony or Claude. So it was, Devin betrayed, you know, everyone, though. Awesome stream. Any thoughts on, it's a chat GBT. It's an AI chatbot that students everywhere have been using to cheat and generate convincing essays for them. What? I don't know anything about that. Thank you, Harpin. But what I'm gonna say though is, there was something. I gotta tell you guys. There was something that was really like, there's an epic fail though. In my chemistry class, this was in like 2011 when I was in high school, there was an epic fail. What happened was, there was a paper that we had to write in chemistry class, and what happened was the teacher did like that computer program that they used or something like that, and it was like, there was one student that, like, it showed up that he had, like, 100% plagiarism. Like, 100% plagiarism. Like, the whole thing was, like, 100% plagiarism. And he told him, like, you know, in the class, he's like, this paper is, like, you know, 100%, like, you know, plagiarized from this website. And the student said to him, you know, the student said, professor, or teacher, because this is high school, he said to him, check who made the website. And it was the kid. So it was the kid who he made his own website, and he wrote a paper for chemistry on that website. And then the cheating program that the teachers picked up his website, and he accused him of plagiarizing his own website. So it was like an epic fail. So that was just like that was kind of funny when that happened once, but. My teacher wasn't my teacher in high school wasn't a bad guy, but he was like really embarrassed by that. Like he was a pretty chill teacher for the most part, but he got really annoyed that the student had like had claimed that it was his work, because he asked him like, "Is this your work?" and he said yes, and so it was just an epic fail on that they didn't check the source of it. They just said that it was like 100% plagiarized and that had happened, but. Okay, 1 mile left. Speaking of Medal of Honor Rising Sun, what guns are featured in? Is the Type 99 rifle featured? Since it was a signature rifle the Japanese used in World War II. I didn't hear about that, Mark. Oh, whoa. Was the webpage accurate? Yeah, he wrote a paper on, like, chemistry stuff. Like, well, he wrote his own thing on, like, he had his own website some time ago, and a teacher accused him of plagiarizing it, but it was his own website. So it was, but, in Medal of Honor Rising Sun, I'm trying to remember all the guns. They have that, the M1 Garand is in the game. They have the Thompson. They have the, I think the Nambu pistol. Is the Type 99 in that game? I'm trying to remember. It was a 1911 is in that game too. I think they have the Type 100 SMG too. No, they don't, stop the street. Half a mile left, last drop. Okay, complete. I'm gonna help somebody else sell after this, okay? There we go. Nice.
Oh, my fault.
Yes, that was Simo Haiha. That was the Finnish sniper. The highest confirmed kill count of the sniper.
East side, nigga, get the fuck off my turf.
Hey, you! It's been way too long!
Come on, man.
Okay.
I was just about to get out of here. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, people are saying about, Ken Block. Rest in peace to Ken Block. It's, that is sad. I didn't know who he was, but it says here that he was a, American professional rally driver. Oh, whose MCs are coming after me? Oh. Can somebody else invite me? Anybody who,
Oh, shit, nigga, down, nigga,
Okay. Oh, the bar's in it too. I forgot about that. I did play Ghost Recon Wildlands and Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
I found when.
Oh, it's the easy one. Okay, good. At least this car will handle the snow fine. Your thoughts on Cyberpunk 2077? I never really got into it, expert. I never played it, I never, yeah, I never really got much into it. Imagine a room with Dimitri, Khan, Lucky, Micah, Bulgarin, or from Jack 2, Mr. Sunshine, Voss, Shepard, Makarov, and Tenpenny. That would be chaos, yeah. It would. Thank you, George. Let's go over here. No, I don't use my live stream for GTA 5 lore videos. But okay. 1 mile, got this. Boarding up for dinner. Probably have some hamburgers for dinner today. I have played Sniper Ghost Warrior, yes. Oh, come on, there we go. Delivered. What do I think is more worth doing? Acid Lab or Nightclub? Both. Why don't you have... Because Nightclub, you don't really need to do anything. It'll just produce. And Acid Lab, yeah. When's your Michael lore video? It'll be this month, I promise. The Michael Trevor lore video will be this month. I've just been busy with just so much stuff. I'm sorry, everyone. Wait, oh, wait, no, oh. There's still one more then. Okay. Are you a fan of racing? Not really, not much. I always tend to eat kind of late. New York or New Jersey? I'm from New York, but I don't live in New York anymore. Thank you, Lapsy. But yeah, I mean, if you're talking about the urban areas of New York and New Jersey, a lot of traffic, you know, very urbanized. Would you call begging for donations a job? Threatening to end the stream if there's no donations, that's Wings of Redemption. If somebody does something like that, they threaten to end the stream if there's no donations, that person is that person's a loser. You know, that's like trying to guilt trip your subscribers, and that's messed up. And, what I'll say about that is that, you know, the stupid YouTubers that say that their subscribers get, like, free content, that's not true. Even if they don't donate, they still don't get free content. They watch ads. So even if somebody's not donating, they're still watching ads, which is making that YouTuber money. So that's... What DLC do you prefer more, The Lost and Damned or The Ballad of Gay Tony? I don't know if I prefer one more than the other. I like actually both of them. I think both of them are great DLCs. Have I ever considered have I ever been to Staten Island? Do I consider a borough? I do consider a borough, and I've been to Staten Island. It's, you know, it's kind of like a suburban part of New York City, but it's it adds a lot of there are urban areas to it as well. Does anyone else need help selling anything? What game do you like better in terms of story? Grand Theft Auto 4 or Grand Theft Auto 5? Grand Theft Auto 4, I think, has a much better story. What do you think of Mr. Beast? I don't really watch him, but he seems like a good person to me. He helps out a lot of charities. Yeah, I would like to see a remaster of Vice City Stories and Liberty City Stories.
Look at that. All deliveries received. Now let's just hope they know how to use them, right?
Wish GTA 4 Story Mode got DLC. You and me both, George. I wish. They were originally planning it, but then GTA Online got so popular and they just canceled it. No it doesn't, Justin. Have I ever been to Coney Island or Brighton? I did a video on Coney Island and Brighton Beach last year. Well, it was mostly Coney Island. But it was, look up my video visiting Firefly Island in real life. I made it last year, Edgy. Will I continue to play 171? Yes, I'll make more videos on it. Bro, what do you usually eat? You seem to maintain your weight. I eat all kinds of food. I don't really gain much weight, honestly. Have I ever been to the Bronx? Yes, I have. Bronx is probably my least visited borough, but yes, I've been to the Bronx before.
You're bikers, right? Because the buyer wants to prod a bite into the back of a truck.
Hello, Pro. I've requested to join Pro 4. Can I join? Thank you, Chris, for the super chat. But we don't really, we don't really use the cruise much anymore, though, Chris. There was exploits that griefers were using when they were looking at the crew's leaderboards, and then they were joining, you know, crew members that way. Is abolishing the police good? No. That's a really stupid idea. Have I ever thought about playing Call of Duty World War II? I have played Call of Duty World War II in the past. I actually did a playthrough of it, you know, years ago. Thank you, Express, for the super chat. Well, I'm not really going to answer questions like that. Thank you, Lapsy, for the super chat, though. World at War? I tried to play World at War in the past, but I got a community guidelines strike. I don't know even for what, really. Yes, there are, Edgy. I think I did. I read it, didn't I, Mark? Favorite Call of Duty Modern Warfare Online map. Which one? You mean the new one or the old one? If we're talking about Modern Warfare 2019, what's my favorite map in Modern Warfare 2019? I like that one map in Modern Warfare 2019. It was like a cave, and then it was like a small town and like a cliff. I like that one. I forget the name of that map. Yes, I got a community guideline strike for World at War. They claimed that I violated like the harmful and brutality policy. Yeah, we could, Mark, but it'd be like an hour after the stream though, because we're gonna get something to eat afterwards. Azir Cave, yeah, that's it. I like that one. Do I drink coffee? Not much. Okay, it's like a few blocks away. I think this is the longest time the snow has ever lasted. I don't think it's lasted this long. Usually it ended a few days after beginning of January. I think it's gonna expire in like the 11th, right? The first video game that I ever played? I don't know, it's a tough question. What would be the first video game I ever played? It might have been Mega Man Legends on the PlayStation 1. Do I smoke? No. What do I think about Call of Duty Ghosts? I don't think the multiplayer was that good, but I think the single player was pretty good. Let's go to business. I have a few times, Jonathan, at different ranges. Oh, that's Sons of Anarchy. I know it's the biker TV show, but I never really watched it. Will I do Ace Combat? Yeah, I'll play that one day. Do I like the operatives who can source crate and sourcing your own nightclub goods via Johan? Game changer. It's a really good thing that you can source crates through Johan too now. That's definitely a plus. How much time do I have logged? I'll check for you right now. Thank you, Express. 459 days, 14 hours, and 35 minutes. Can I do a 2042 guide? Well, I honestly, man, I'm not that knowledgeable about Battlefield 2042 to make a full guide on that. I could make a guide maybe on Hell Let Loose. That's a game that I know much better. Hell Let Loose is a very hard game to play, to master. Yeah, my controller's going a bit crazy here. I can do Battlefield 3 playthrough one day. What else do you think they could add to GTA Online's DLC? I'd like to see, honestly, like a mansion update one day. Like, instead of giving us all these businesses, give us, like, a house that we can customize and buy. Thank you, Revan. But they're running out of room to even give us mansions, because a lot of the mansions have been used in missions now. Do I ever play Gotham Knights or Arkham series? No. I think I have one of the Arkham games on PlayStation, like PlayStation Plus. I redeemed it some time ago, but I never downloaded it. Thank you, Spectre. Okay, Carlos. I don't know much about that. I know that was in the 80s, right, Logan? But I do know that with the Iran-Iraq war, that it was like neither side really won the war. It was like kind of indecisive. I think I liked House of Ashes more than Little Hope, but Little Hope was a good one, too. What's your thoughts on people doing wall glitches on Cayo Perico to get loot in the compound? I don't support stuff like that, Lapsy. Yeah, I don't. I always like to play the game the way it's supposed to be, played in all legitimate, and so I wouldn't support stuff like that. LG? No, I don't think I need a new TV. I think I'm good. Like, I'm playing, through OBS on my monitor, which is, that's, you know, fine for me now. But when I play in my free time on a TV, you know, my TV, like, that I have in, you know, my TV that I had in, like, in New York is from, like, 2014. It's a, but it still works perfectly, and it's a great TV, and I really don't see the need to change it. My TV in, the Midwest in my room is from, it's from 2020, and it's you know, it's still a great TV. There's really no need for me to change it either. Why is abolish the police bad? Because it's just this idea that you want to get rid of the entire police. It's like, what are you going to replace it with then? It's going to be absolute chaos if you don't have police to, like, you know, solve crimes and, like, you know, arrest criminals. You know, what's going to happen? It's going to be crime is going to shoot up. It's going to, like, if you look at places where they actually have defunded the police, and, you know, you look at places like that, crime has risen. It's gotten a problem. So it's, you know, especially if you look at parts of California where they put in some, you know, bad policies and crime has increased. That has happened. I know the police aren't perfect. I know there's bad cops out there, but that shouldn't be cops. They should be in, you know, jail, or they should be fired depending on what they did. But vast majority of police are good people, and you know, this idea of just defunding them, I just think is just stupid. I'd like to see a remastered version of Black Ops 2 one day. Yeah, I'd be down for that. Thank you, Roebuck. Thanks, man. Is your name a reference to World at War by any chance? Who's more corrupt, Frank Tenpenny or Damon? Well, Damon isn't really corrupt. Damon is just a criminal. So it's like, to be corrupt, you have to be in some kind of position first to be corrupt. Because if you're like a gangster, technically, I guess, you know, they're a criminal, but that's not really corruption if they're a gangster, because unless they participate in corruption. But it's like, to be corrupt, you would have to be in some kind of position, like a politician, a police officer, you know, something where, something where you have some kind of power, and you're abusing it. Bought some people calling positive stories things, etc. about cops, propaganda. Well, I've never heard that term, propaganda. Thank you, Bunny. But yeah, there's plenty. I know there's a lot of stories of just bad cops out there, but there's also a lot of stories of good cops who did good heroic things. Helping people. There is a story I know I read about. There was a story I read about with a police officer who took like a massive risk, but he did the right thing. And technically this police officer caused an international incident, but he did the right thing. Basically what happened was, this is a British cop. So I read about this story, this is like a few months ago. And what happened was there was a bunch of Hong Kong protesters outside of the, they were outside of the Chinese embassy in London. I think this was in London. I know this is in Britain. So this was the Chinese embassy. And the protesters were, displaying anti-communist posters, protesting against the Communist Party of China. And a lot of the people from the Chinese embassy came out, the government officials, they got really pissed off, and they started, like, ripping up the posters, destroying the posters, and they started getting really aggressive with the protesters. And what actually happened was a fight was about to break out, and then there was, like, one guy that, like, they dragged him into the embassy. So there was kind of like the gate to the embassy, and the Chinese embassy people, these are people that work for the government of China, they dragged one of the protesters into the Chinese embassy and actually just started beating him up. And what happened was one of the British cops actually went into the grounds of the Chinese embassy, pulled the protester out of there, prevented him from getting beaten up, and brought him back over on the British side, because that's technically Chinese soil when that's the Chinese embassy. And so technically the British cop created an international incident by stepping onto the Chinese embassy, but he did the right thing, because it was like it was a protester that got dragged over by the Chinese embassy people and started getting beat up, and so that was like an example, like a cop that did the right thing, but that didn't really get that much news coverage. So that was like, that cop did a good thing, he deserves a raise for that. So that was just, he took a massive risk by going into the Chinese embassy, but it was a good thing he did. So,
I was just thinking about you.
anyone remember that Chaz thing in Seattle and how the police did nothing to stop them because the mayor wouldn't let them do anything? Yeah, well, it's like,
You hear me? Shit there.
there's places where the police are not able to, like, go into, like, when the politicians get in the way, a lot of times it actually gets worse. Like, you look at a city like Chicago, where, like, the politicians oftentimes get in the way of, like, what the police are trying to do. The police are just trying to enforce the law, and that doesn't help. That causes a lot of problems. So it's, do I play Powerball? No, I don't play any of those lottery games. I think that's a waste. Honestly, I'm the type of, I honestly, instead of gambling in, like, I'm one of those people that I believe very strongly that if you're gonna gamble with money, right? This is just my opinion. If you're gonna, like, gamble, don't go to a casino. Don't play the lottery. If you want to, like, actually, like, try to make some money with money, do the stock market. I don't know, like, all the people that gamble, I don't know why they don't just put the money in the stock market. Like, do some research in the stock market and put money in the stock market instead of, like, instead of just gambling it all at a casino or playing lottery, which you're never gonna win. So that's just my personal view on it. If the people that, like, gamble got really good at the stock market, they might actually make some money, but instead they just like to gamble, and that's not good. I feel like cops need to have more authority. No one respects cops anymore, and anytime they try to arrest someone, they film it and call them abusive. Well, thank you, Mr. Cookie. Thank you for the, or Mick Cookie, I'm sorry, operating, but I don't think the police necessarily need more authority. I think the police just need to be able to do their job. That's really what I think. But a lot of times politicians just get in the way of that, and just, like, you have to defund the police stuff, and that's just, that's, you know, not good. Always love your content. Thank you for inspiring me to become a YouTuber. Well, thank you, Story Mode. Thanks, man. Okay, waiting for this last one to be delivered here. Neither, Trevor. I'm not, and I don't really talk politics. You know, I just stay away from that. I can talk more about, like, police issues. You don't know the word propaganda. I know what propaganda is, but somebody used the term propaganda before, which I never heard that term. I'm assuming that they're using that to, like, slander the police, or, like, that it would be like pro-police propaganda or something like that, but I can speak on, like, law enforcement stuff, because that's what I went to school for. I went to school for law enforcement, graduated bachelor's degree in that. But, yeah, there's just, like, there are just some, you know, there's some stupid politicians and district attorneys that, like, cause a lot of problems. And that's why when you go to vote, you know, what I'll say is, it doesn't matter how you vote, you know, doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. When you go to vote, the only thing that I say is make sure you read up on who your district attorney is, because people vote for their district attorneys, and oftentimes they don't research the district attorney's policies, and the district attorney does some really stupid things. And if you have, it doesn't matter if you have the best police force in the world. If you have a really stupid district attorney, that can really cause a lot of problems. And so that's what happened in California. It was in San Francisco, I think it was. There's a district attorney in San Francisco who he had gotten elected, and then he started passing a bunch of really stupid laws, and, like, he didn't let the police do his job fully, and, like, crime in San Francisco just skyrocketed. And then there was a recall election, and he lost the recall election. I'm trying to remember what the guy's name was. It was like a San Francisco, like, DA. But basically what happened was the district attorney, when he lost the recall election, like, he just kept calling it like a what was it? He kept calling it like a conservative plot or something like that. But the thing is, it had nothing to do with, like, conservatism or anything like that. There was plenty of people on the left that also voted in that recall election. He just wasn't doing his job. He was just stupid. He was a terrible district attorney. And that's pretty much what it was about. He was just, the guy was just an idiot. So that was just, he deserved to get recalled. But what do I think of the Elder Scrolls Online? Thank you, Revan. I like the Elder Scrolls Online. I like playing it online with friends. If you play it by yourself, it's pretty boring. If you play it with friends, it can be fun. Bowden, yes, that was him. That was the guy. That's what I'm talking about. But the was it? You know what pisses me off about Elder Scrolls Online? I'll be honest about it. Is that some of the people in Elder Scrolls Online are, like, crazy. Like, I'm, like, literally, like, they're absolutely insane. Like if you think I'm crazy on GTA Online, you should see some of these people on Elder Scrolls Online. Like, they have, like, you know, way more than me. I have 460 days played on GTA Online, but there's some people on Elder Scrolls Online that have, like, just an insane amount of time. Like, they're super high ranks, like over 2,000 in the game. They have like this ridiculous character build where they'll kill anybody instantly. It's, like, really annoying. If you want to know how much of a problem it is, I tried playing Cyrodiil once. Cyrodiil is the PvP area in, like, Elder Scrolls Online. I tried playing Cyrodiil once, and what happened was, it was me and, like, 4 other people in, like, a squad, a party together. And we were taking this castle over. We killed all the guards, and then we had, like, one guy that, you know, attacked us. It was, like, another player from, like, the other faction. It was the, we were the Ebonheart faction, and the guy was from the Dominion faction. I think that's what he was from. And what happened was, all 4 of us ganged up on this guy. Like, we just attacked this guy in the game because he was coming up back to take the fort, and all 4 of us couldn't kill this guy. And we didn't have, like, crappy classes. We had, like, okay classes. We didn't have the best, but we had, like, okay. But all 4 of us were attacking this guy at once, like, just at once, and he kept regenerating health like crazy. And then he would do an insane amount of damage. Like, he kept regenerating so much health. We used all of our magicka, we used all of our stamina, and then he killed all 4 of us. Like, one guy that, like, just has 4 people attacking him, and then he managed to kill us because he had some, like, ridiculous build. Like, I think that's personally stupid. That's, like, one of the things that pisses me off about Elder Scrolls Online, is, like, the people that have, like, those insane, ridiculous builds that, like, you cannot kill them. Like, it's just they keep regenerating health over and over and over again, and it's just so annoying. Like, it's just, that is just, you know, that, I don't mind a challenge. Like, I've fought people in PvP and Elder Scrolls Online, and it's fun. I've fought people that are pretty challenging, but when I first, one of those people that's like those crazy tank classes where you barely do a dent in their health, I just personally find that annoying, and it's just ridiculous. And so, like, how does, like, 4 guys, like, fighting 1 guy, and we were all damaging him at the same time, he barely do any damage, and can't even get him down to half health, and he manages to kill all of us. That was just ridiculous. That's what I don't like about, you know, Elder Scrolls Online, when you encounter people like that in PvP. I think it personally, like, ruins the PvP. What do you think about the British police being able to arrest people for posting stuff on social media? They ignore more serious crimes in the process. You know, I don't think, my personal opinion is, you can't, I'm a big free speech guy, and so even if I see speech that I disagree with, or that I think is just stupid, that's just, you know, I think that people should be able to say stuff even if I disagree with it. So even if I think something's stupid, I think that people should be able to say what they want. But what I'll say about this is the best way to defeat misinformation, like misinformation, the best way to counter misinformation is not to censor it. The best way to counter misinformation is to educate people, is to, you show people why that information is wrong, why that's misinformation, you prove it to people. You use evidence, you back up your claims, and you say, this is why this person is wrong, and you prove it. If you censor somebody else, even if it's misinformation that you're censoring, if you censor somebody else, basically that person who's spreading the misinformation will then say, oh look, they're censoring me, they don't want you to know the truth, or something like that, and then more people pay attention to those people, and then they follow, like, conspiracy theories and stuff like that. So censorship is not the right way to go about it. I personally think that it's stupid, and it's causing more harm. Like, the best way to defeat misinformation, you educate people and you prove to them why somebody is wrong, not censoring them. Because then the person who gets censored, even if the person who's getting censored, even if they're saying really ridiculous, dumb things, they're going to use that to their advantage, and they're going to say, oh look, they're censoring me, they don't want me to tell the truth, or something like that. And so that's like it. I think the best way to, like, defeat censorship is to personally, like, you counter it and you prove why it's wrong. That's just my opinion on it. And as for, like, the British police arresting people on that, I don't know what the context of that is exactly, but the only time, in my country, at least in America, the only time that you could arrest somebody for, you know, doing something online is if they're threatening somebody. If they're threatening somebody, or if they are, you know, there's certain, you know, really creepy, bad websites that, you know, people go to. If they go to those websites, like dark web and stuff like that, then yes, they can get arrested. Or if they're threatening somebody. If they're sending messages that they're threatening to kill somebody, that's not really free speech at that point. You're threatening somebody. But if somebody's just posting something and it's just their opinion and then they get arrested for that, I think that that's stupid. So that's just my whole view on the thing. So I don't know the context of the UK on what they were arresting people for specifically. But if it's not threatening somebody and it's not visiting, like, an illegal website, then I think that that's stupid personally. So that's what? Somebody's saying that I believe the Earth is flat? Who? No? Okay. I don't know what that you know. Yeah, some people are just yeah. Thank you, Mario, for the super chat. What do you think of the future GTA titles? Will there be a last installment, or will the series never end? I don't think the series is really ever going to end, because you think about it, GTA is like, you know, you know, it's a, you know, cash cow. It's like one of the best-selling games ever. So, like, even 20 years from now, I think there'll still be new GTA games. That's what I think. So it's yeah, but like here's what I'll say to you. Like, even like the people who say that the Earth is flat, that's like one of the stupidest things that, like, I've heard. That is probably the stupidest conspiracy theory. It's probably the stupidest one. Like, there's a lot of really stupid conspiracy theories. Like, there's people who don't believe that we actually landed on the moon. But the one with the flat Earth is just that's the stupidest conspiracy, I think. I don't think there's really a stupider one than that. There probably is a stupider one, I just don't know about it. But out of all the conspiracies I know, the stupidest one is the flat Earth one. That's just that's just so stupid. But about the flat Earth thing is, like, you can't. My personal view is that you can't censor people for having that view. Like, if somebody starts posting on social media, like, you know, they start posting on their own page, like, they're not posting on somebody's page, but they start posting and they say, like, the Earth is flat, you know, blah 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 this. Like, I don't think censoring them is the right thing to do, because it's even though they're saying something that's factually incorrect, you know, it's technically their speech, and you are violating their speech by you know, by telling them that they can't say that the Earth is flat. And like the best way to counter people like that is you just prove that the world isn't flat. Like you tell them, you show them like the globe. You say you can fly a plane around the world, like, you know, stuff like that. You can even go on Google Earth and like look up that the Earth isn't flat. You have satellite views. So there's plenty of ways to prove that the Earth isn't flat. But if you censor the crazy flat Earth people, the crazy flat Earth people are then just gonna say, oh look, they're censoring me. They don't want you to know the truth. And so these people are already like crazy conspiracy theorists, and they're just gonna use that as to their advantage, and they're gonna use that as propaganda. They're gonna say, oh look, you know, they're censoring me. They don't want you to know the truth. They don't want you to know that the Earth is flat. Blah blah blah. This. But, you know, so that's the reality, is you just prove those people are wrong. You say, you know, here's why the Earth isn't flat, and you prove them wrong. But it's just, that's, you know, I don't think censoring them is the right thing. And I don't even censor people in my comment section. Like, it's just, you know, I don't believe really in censorship. I'm really against censorship. And I, the only time I ban people from my comment section is, you know, for a few reasons. When they spam and they don't, like, I warn people. I tell them to stop spamming. If they don't stop spamming, then they get timed out eventually to get banned. Or if they're threatening. If they're threatening somebody, that's not really speech, it's threatening. Or if they are, you know, posting something racist, or I'll typically kind of ban people for that. But it's but if somebody like comes into my chat, even if they're not like oh, you delivered it. Even if they're not like even if they don't like me, if they're like calling me stupid and stuff like that, I don't tend to ban people for that. Sometimes the moderators might ban somebody, but I don't ban people even for calling me stupid. So that's like oh, this is the Manches. Is it legal to use the dark web, like going on YouTube? I'm pretty sure that using the dark web is illegal. So that's what I meant by like going to illegal websites. So like in my country, at least in America, the only way that somebody can be really arrested for on things on the internet is if they go to illegal websites, or if they're threatening somebody. If they're threatening somebody, threatening harm of somebody, then yes, that's not speech at that point. You're threatening somebody. So it's. Oh, I'll do a playthrough of GTA 6 when that comes out, definitely. I'll do that. What are your thoughts on cryptocurrency? I don't like it. I think that it's, you know, I think that cryptocurrency is honestly like, and thank you, Amen Farouk, for that, super chat earlier. I just, about cryptocurrency is, I don't like it. Like, I don't. I personally think cryptocurrency is like really sketchy, and so I don't like it. I like stocks, the stock market I like, but I don't like cryptocurrency. Like, I stay away from crypto. Like, I did try out crypto in the past, like years ago I tried it, like, but it was like I didn't put a lot into it, just small amounts. The only thing that I liked about cryptocurrency, the only thing I liked about it is that cryptocurrency can be traded 24 hours, 365 days a year. Where the stock market, it can be traded like only, you know, on business days. You know, it can be traded until the stock market closes, never on weekends. But that's really the only advantage of cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is like extremely unstable. It's extremely unstable. It's like cryptocurrency is like gambling, basically. It's just I just don't like it. You know, stocks are kind of more gambling too, but stocks take more skill to like analyze stocks and like determine whether stocks are like, there are things that happen that's totally out of your control. Like a stock could like fall apart even if you think it's good, even if you do your research. But like cryptocurrency, you could do all the research that you want, and like it's still this, it goes to crap. So that's why I never liked cryptocurrency. And then you had that cryptocurrency scam recently with this, there was that guy who like scammed all those people. It was like some Ponzi scheme. And then like all the YouTubers were like promoting it. What was the name of the crypto? Damn, this keeps falling out. Damn. What was the name of it? FTX, I think that's what it was. It was FTX, am I right on that? It was like all the YouTubers, they were saying like, oh, you know, buy shares in FTX and blah 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 this, and they were just and these YouTubers have no shame. They don't. They cost so many people their money. And then these YouTubers make these BS like apology videos saying like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that it was gonna happen like that. But, you know, but what about all the people that lost their money? What about all your subscribers? You told them to buy the stupid cryptocurrency and they lost all their money. It's just scumbag YouTubers. Okay, let's get out of the area here. Okay, there we go. I guess we'll probably wrap up this stream here. I'll still answer a few questions, so if you guys want to ask me anything before I go, I'll read a few questions here. I'm just really hungry. I want to probably have a burger, because I haven't eaten anything since breakfast. Let me look at the chat here.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a hamburger. Yeah, so it's, my parents are divorced, so I'm sorry that you're going through that, juice boxer. Do I watch UFC? No, not really. Is there any other games like Red Dead and GTA? The closest game to Red Dead and GTA was Watch Dogs Legion. Watch Dogs Legion Online, but then they abandoned it. Watch Dogs Legion had potential, but they abandoned it. There was was it 171? It's a single player game right now. It might have online in the future. That's a competitor. A Far Cry 5? I want to do Far Cry 2 one day. By the way, the other GTA 3 videos you have planned, other than the Claude Lore video, I enjoyed the Salvatore video from GTA San Andreas and Liberty City Stories. Thank you, Josh. Thanks, man. Love you, bro. Thank you for everything. GTA Go. Thank you. Do I think the Mongolians were kind of the precursors of modern capitalism? Yes. You know, there's a lot of people that say that the British Empire invented capitalism, but I would disagree with that. You know, there's a lot of like, there was always like, let me just one moment. I'll answer this really quickly. There's a lot of people, there's arguments constantly in history over who created capitalism. Like, there's a lot of debates on that. I just had a phone call before, so I'm sorry about that. That's why I was muted for a moment. But I personally think it was the Mongolians who invented capitalism, because even though there was like a market economy throughout history since like ancient civilizations, a lot of those economies were heavily controlled by like you know, it was typically the aristocrats. Like, you had the nobles, the aristocrats that would typically like control the economies. Like, for instance, like if you look at royalist France, for instance, like, you know, the French Revolution introduced, you know, capitalism into France, where France was not a capitalist system before the French Revolution. It was very much a controlled economy by a bunch of aristocrats. Like, you know, you had the rich elites that would control the economy. They would heavily regulate the economy to benefit themselves only. And so, like, even if you were like a peasant and you tried to open up your own business, the aristocrats would go after you and they would prevent you from doing that. So it wasn't capitalism. It was very much a controlled economy. It was meant to benefit the monarchy and the aristocrats. But the Mongolians, on the other hand, the Mongolians encouraged free trade. They encouraged trade between the different civilizations that they had conquered, and they had very low taxation. So I would say the Mongolians were really the first people that invented you know, capitalism, because the European monarchs at that time period, the vast majority of the money that the monarchs got in that time period, it was like you had manors, which were basically like these walls that were like set up, and there's like a small town inside, like a village, and there was peasants that would live in like the small like little shacks there, and they would work for the aristocrat, they would work for the noble. The aristocrat would have knights to enforce his rules on the manor, and basically the aristocrat would come over and would steal 70% of the crop. So basically the peasant would lose 70% of their earnings, and the aristocrat would take it. And then after the aristocrat sold a lot of the crops, the aristocrat would then give a cut of that to the king. And so that's how literally that's how kings in Europe had gotten most of their money. The Mongolians got most of their money through trade, because they conquered civilization to civilization. They looted a lot too, but they encouraged trade between civilizations. So they would conquer one civilization, and then they would conquer another civilization. They would link those two civilizations, and with the Yellow Road, was it called the was it called the road, the big one? No, I'm thinking the Yellow River, probably. That was in China. No, it was the Yellow River as I was thinking of it, but the road that the Mongolians had, Silk Road. Yes, it was Silk Road. I'm sorry, I don't know why I was saying Yellow Road. I was thinking the Yellow River, but it was the Silk Road. That was it. So the Silk Road. The Mongolians had like set up a whole trading network through the Silk Road, and so the Mongolians understood capitalism. Like, the Mongolians were brutal in their conquest. They were. I'm not denying that, but the Mongolians were very intelligent. Like, a lot of people think that the Mongolians were like stupid barbarians, but they weren't. They were very intelligent. They knew how to make money, and they knew how to you know, fund their empire. They were really good at that. So that was it. But I was just thinking of the yellow, it was the yellow river, that was that big trading river in China, right? It was the, yeah, it was Yellow River was the big trading, I got that mixed up with the Silk Road. So it was, but yeah, that's pretty much it. That was the, little explanation over, I know there's a long answer to a question. I know history really well, and so I can talk about these things, but I personally think it was the Mongolians who invented capitalism. It wasn't the British, it was the Mongolians. That's my personal view from a historical perspective. How are you doing tonight? And how are, and you're the best professional. Thank you, Max. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you, Alvinor. Merchants were probably the first capitalists, kind of in a way, but you have to understand that at that time period, the aristocrats would basically like control everything. The aristocrats would tell you how much you can sell, what you can do. The Mongolians generally left you alone. If you were like a merchant and you were under Mongolian, like, you know, occupation, the Mongolians wouldn't like tell you what you can and can't sell. As long as you weren't hurting their empire, they didn't care. As long as you brought them tax revenue, that's all they really cared about. Where the European kingdoms, they would harass the merchants constantly. So, have you heard of Sam Bankman, the crypto scammer? Is that the guy who did FTX? I don't know if that was the guy, Edgy, but thank you for the super chat. But I guess we'll be going here. Well, the aristocrats were really bad people. There were some good aristocrats, but most aristocrats were not good people. Most nobles were not good people. They're far from being noble. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed my stream, do drop a like if you like my commentary. And I will have, I'll have a Saboteur video tonight, and then tomorrow we'll have a GT Online video. It's gonna be a big GT Online video, not a small one. It's one I've been working on for a week. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, guys, and have a wonderful night.